And I don't remember, maybe it's what you and I talked about last time. My big frustration was, this is a war you can't win. You're setting about unattainable military objectives. And when President Trump came out, early in the morning that Saturday at Mar-a-Lago, he put out all the objectives for this, and I just was cringing, because I'm like, unless the Iranian side does the unexpected and just collapses and crumbles just out of fear and whatever, there's no way you're going to be able to accomplish deploying force. And so I said, no, this is something that is being pre-positioned to use. And I wrote that extensively before the case. So, you couldn't come back and just say, well, you called it later. But that's why I was so confident this one, for the same reasons. Just when it was the air logistics, it was the refueling capabilities, it was the C-17s, the C-5 transport, the massive number of them, like 50% of our entire inventory. And then, of course, the large number of fighter jets, and the aircraft carrier strike groups and all that. When you look at all that, it's like, no, this is being designed for use. This is not pressure. This is not trying to convince anybody to reach an outcome, because they already will. So if their backbone stays stiff, and they already understood ahead of time that this was going to be very costly for them, but that they had calculated, this was in the New York Times just days before, that they have calculated that fighting a war with the U.S. was less risky than submitting to the U.S. That, again, was another signal that they had made this decision to go. And now, so far, that's exactly what they had done. And they are paying a price. And there's no doubt that there's been profound destruction of their armed forces, of their senior leaders, of course, their political and military, and definitely their military infrastructure's taken a beating. But I'm pretty sure you and I did talk about this. They have these underground facilities throughout the country, and they have the ability to withstand a lot of this for an extended period of time. But we don't. That's the key issue here. I said that we had maybe 4 or 5 days of high intensity flight. Maybe we could stretch that out to a couple of weeks if you're judicious in the use. But then what? If the other side doesn't capitulate, you're in real trouble. And now then, that's where it looks like we are. There's reports out just in the last few hours that President Trump is saying, hey, maybe we can have a ceasefire. Evidence suggests that he knew he was going to be assassinated, and I think willingly sacrificed his life to be used as a martyr, because he didn't go to a protected place. He stayed where everyone knew where his compound was, so that when the strike came in, he was killed. That's what it looks like happened intentionally, and now that result looks like it's having a situation to where it's not causing the backbone to quiver, but it's actually consolidating support behind the regime and throughout the Shia world. There's lots of protests going on around the world in support of the Iranian side because of the sacrifice of the Ayatollah. So I think it has been a profound, and I mean, to say a miscalculation is bad, because that almost implies that you thought maybe it was going to be good. Just show how tough you are, and then they'll just roll over. And I think that's what he thought was going to happen here, not recognizing the radical and profound differences between Venezuela and the Shia country of Iran, as you pointed out. So I think it was a big miscalculation.